there, Alex here. Welcome to another episode on Love and Waves. This is season 2. I think we're going to call this one episode 1 because the last one was a nice long reintroduction because I was gone for some time. So if you missed that one, there's a lot of framing in there as to what this channel is about, where it's going, what my journey has been, and where I'm coming from now. So please go back and check that out. And I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts on that and kind of where you are as well. That'll help me with moving forward with other content. So in kind of reviewing that, just want to remind you, this is a soul stream. So I'm just coming with an idea and hoping that things just flow because this is a new way. I've tried so many times to just write down concepts and get back in the linear mind and it's just not working. I literally tilt. So I'm just going to let this one flow and fly. What I do know is I mentioned that I wanted to go through the different levels of mind and kind of how those work from a dimensional standpoint, from a paradigm, from a perspective that we're living from, and how that really is how we are creating our world. So I'm going to try to do, I'm going to bring in my whiteboard, okay, my handy dandy whiteboard that I love. So first, I want to start, I believe, with this concept that you are creating your reality always, whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. Important to understand. And so what we're doing in creating our reality is we are making what is unmanifest into manifest. So in a sense, you're kind of a portal. And we really are on this plane. We are moving from non-physical, which would be the 4th D, 5D, 6D, and up, into the physical, which is dimensions 1, 2, and 3. And so we're creating by our awareness and our focus, again, consciously or unconsciously, what we are seeing in our hologram. So what does that mean? If we are creating unconsciously, it's because we're working from the ego, which is the split mind. And in fact, there's 4 sides to that mind. And a lot of that unconsciousness is based in old beliefs, old patterns, old wounds, not only from this life that we've created, but also from other lives and from our ancestry as well. This is all imprinted in our DNA and in our coding. And if you're here and you're on this and you're on an awakening path, then you're wanting to clear that shadow of what we've created that's out of alignment with how source sees it, things that cause us pain and separation consciousness. We are wanting to allow that shadow to come up and not continue to create from that ego, from that split mind. What we want to do instead is station higher, again, moving into more unity and start creating from a conscious mind and manifesting and materializing from source stream. Okay, so we can move further and further out of the split mind, the 4 sides of the mind, which come into integration. This is called individuation, closing the gaps between the left and right hemisphere and the heart and the mind coming into coherence. And this is what will then create what's called Heros Gamos, a unity consciousness, and it unlocks the superconscious. And that superconscious is that main line to source. So then you just live and create in your highest timeline. So in the process of moving from lower mind to higher mind, what's happening, you've heard of timelines and timeline jumping and collapsing timelines and these different terms, perhaps. I will go into showing you a little bit about that. Like, what does that mean? What does that look like? How do we create all these different timelines? You have many, many lives going on simultaneously right now. Like 17,228, I think it is. We downstep into a whole lot of other lives on different dimensions and time space realities. There is no real time. So when we collapse timelines, we're actually healing the soul. We're going home. We're healing all of these timelines that have been fragmented and pushed out, and they're coming back together again and healing, 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 and moving up back into unity and conscious creation and create, like becoming the creator again. And that is a beautiful way of living, as I said in the last video. So that's about the lower mind. So moving from through these dimensions, let's do that. That's what I said I was going to do. And I'll try to keep this one nice and short. I've talked about this before. This is the divine blueprint, right? So we've got 3 different, actually 4 different subharmonic universes, harmonic universes. We've got 1, 2, and 3, which is dimension 1, 4, 5, and 6, which is dimension 2, or universe 2, 7, 8, 9, which is 3, and 4 would be 10, 11, and 12. And then, of course, there's some sound and light fields as well, which we're not going to go into. These are the ones that come in, and I'll show you how we kind of like drop in like this. But nonetheless, dimensions 1, 2, and 3, these correlate with the lower chakras, and therefore some of our primal needs and so on. And this is why we can get caught up with a lot of distortion in these lower chakras, and there's a disharmony going on there, and we're not moving up into the heart where we can start to pull down from source. That's kind of the center point here, where these portals, and the portal really begins to open up at the heart, where we can become a conscious creator. But when we have all these trapped energies and distortions because of, again, traumas and ways of beliefs that we have that are limiting, that have been programmed and taught, baked in, we're not able to move to this next station of identity, which is the soul level. And this is where we go into the heart, which is the fourth dimension, into the throat chakra, which is the archetypal mind, which is going to be really kind of your operating system, and then into the celestial mind, which is 6. So 4, 5, and 6, the soul level. Beautiful. This is really what we're all doing here. Is we're moving from the 3D, through third dimensional earth, as you've heard, into the 5D, which is the soul level blueprint. So this is all non-physical, and with that non-physical through us becomes physical. And so again, if we're unconsciously creating, we are creating from the lower and from the distortions of the lower chakras, Ds 1, 2, and 3. The subconscious mind is D1. The emotional mind, which is also elemental, is D2. And the mental, intellectual mind is D3. The heart is D4. That's the astral mind. The throat, again, archetypal mind. The third eye is a celestial mind. Then we move up into the crown and the eighth chakra and the ninth chakra. I won't go into those today, but understand that, again, as we clear the shadow and the distortions from the lower 3 centers, we move up into the heart station and station in the heart. And that's right when you're coming into the 500s on the scale of consciousness. So the 400s move through time and space, through all these different steps, smaller steps into love, unconditional love, and then expressing that through the throat chakra. And this is really where we're going. And that's where you reach a sense of unity, especially when you get to that 7th dimension, the sense of unity and becoming the creator and no longer sinking into the ego. The ego becomes totally sanctified. It no longer, I mean, of course, you'll see the ego in everyone else and you still have it to keep you safe. It's got a job, but it's not running the show anymore. And in fact, when you station there, you literally can't operate in the ego so hard as you try. I've been trying to teach concepts in a linear way and I literally can't. I can't. I have to just let it come out. So yeah, that's kind of how that looks. So I'm just going to do a quick little drawing to start to bring this to life for you. I won't go super detailed because I've had this vision a number of times and it's really kind of fun. So basically, I want to give you 4, 5, and 6. So we're moving from 1, 2, and 3, levels 1, 2, and 3, and we're moving to 4, 5, and 6. So 5 is the magic platform. 4 is time and space. I've mentioned this before. This is the timeline that you've chosen, consciously or unconsciously. The timeline that your awareness is in right now in this body is coming from here, and it's probably wavy, creating the life that you've created into dimensions 1, 2, 3, which is our physical. Excuse me, tickle. My throat chakra's going on fire right now. I guess we're working in. Oh my gosh, it's tickling so much. My eyes are watering. Pardon me. I'm going to draw the earth here while I'm got my tickly throat. Here's the earth. Here's what we've created in the 3D reality. So 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is 3D earth, 5D earth. This is like an observation deck. So I'm going to put a little eye on here. This is kind of where you decide. This is like the deciding point of, that's supposed to be an eye. This is where you're deciding. There we go. Does that look like an eye? Where you're observing from a neutral standpoint here. Your earth, what you've created, you're looking down. This is, again, time and space. You're choosing your timeline by where your awareness is, and you're choosing where your awareness is by what you see and your level of consciousness, where your perception is, where your paradigm is. So when you're looking down and you're like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like what I've created there. It was probably created through the ego. You made that choice to go with your own personal will instead of thy will. And that creates distortion, and it kind of waves your path around and makes that timeline not your highest necessarily, just a little wavier until something in your life hits you between the eyes and snaps you back into place. And you're like, oh, I've got to fix that timeline a little bit. Let's work on that. So when you choose the ego, you run the risk highly of going down a distorted path. When you choose from the higher timelines, dimension 6 and above, this is all so this is all possibility. This is just the observation level. This is actually where all your timelines, all your high timelines are. This is all the good stuff, where all the good stuff is. Because it's not based in ego. It's not based in a separated mind. It's based in unity and love. This is when you choose from a higher timeline, when you go with God's will, or let's source consciousness, divine source consciousness will, thy will, your higher self will. What can you produce but from love, which produces peace and joy and harmony? It's service to others, which naturally feeds back love and joy and more creation. And then you witness that in your reality. So you're choosing from here, you're pulling down, thy will be done here on earth as it is in heaven, up here. By the way, 7D is heaven, like literally heaven. This is earth. This is Tara. This is Gaia. Gaia is actually 7D. It's not 5D, guys. This isn't Mother Gaia. If you're living in the 3D, you're not on Gaia. Okay, Gaia is 7D living. That's when you actually are in your highest timeline, manifest now. 144 light codes of your DNA. We'll talk about that later, don't worry. But like you literally come back into full alignment and full multidimensional living as you reach higher and higher into those timelines. But what do? We need to get rid of the shadow. We need to work with recognizing where we've chosen in error with the ego, allow that shadow to rise and feel the feelings, like I always say. Ask for higher guidance, ask for the revelation. And when you get that revelation, learn, change that belief, change that limiting belief or that program so that you don't recreate again from the ego. You recognize that. And so that's really being in the now. So the 5D is the now. It's not living in the past and the future from the ego, the split mind through time and space. It's in the now always, the awareness of the now. Am I aligning with the ego, or am I aligning with my higher self? Am I listening to the nudge and taking the action from the inner nudge, from that intuition? Or am I choosing from a split mind, from fear, separation, all of the lower frequencies, from pride, anger, desire, guilt, apathy? These are all lower mind. This is suffering. Again, as you move up, up, up into love and reason and joy and peace and enlightenment, this is where it's at, guys. And this is where we're going, like it or not, because of what's happening planetary. We'll talk about that another day. So that's what I really wanted to share, is that we have these different stations of mind, and aligning with the higher mind is the goal. And the main station of 5D, of being in the now, observing, being aware, bringing your awareness to that observation deck of the 5D. I like actually to call it the observation deck. Getting present in any moment. Whew, I don't like that, how that feels. Get present. Don't worry about going to the mind yet. Feel the feels. Ask for the revelation. The feminine is the feeling. The revelation is the mind. Ask for it. And then move forward in the now, in the now. Where's my awareness now? So I'm going to leave it with that today. I think that's enough for right now. So I hope that helps you, and we will see what happens on the next. Again, cards of ideas and lots to pull from that I've been so happy and blessed to have put together and wired together in this brain. And I hope that this is helping you to live a better life, to collapse that duality, to bring all the things you're looking for to you naturally, organically, heaven to earth, because that's here, bringing these higher dimensions into the physical realm, living in 5D, making that manifest in the 3D. You're out of the matrix, guys. That's how you get out. That's how you live on purpose. That's how you rise to where illness becomes a non-thing. You start to heal. The abundance comes to you. Everything arranges around the highest intentions of love and joy and peace and goodwill for all. That's alignment with higher. And there's just no way to fail, or to fail or to suffer in that. So I hope this helps today, and I will see you very soon Like, subscribe, comments, love them. Appreciate you. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.